In this week's episode of Naruto Shippuden, Indra and Ashura return from their long journeys, acting as a surrogate ninja Jesus and spreading the love of Ninshu across the land, leaving the Sage of the Six Paths with the ultimate decision to choose who will be his successor. I'm going to be very brief with this one because I'm going to be perfectly honest with you guys. I am not enjoying this filler arc very much. Yes, this is material that we've never seen before. Yes, there are a lot of brand new characters that we've never seen before, but we already know the outcome. We already know who the successor is going to be, and the ending of this week's episode, frankly, just left a really bad taste in my mouth because the Sage of the Six Paths is about to announce a successor, and they immediately cut to black, where hundreds of episodes ago, we already know who he chose, and we already definitely know who he's going to choose, and that's, of course, Ashura. The biggest difference being that Ashura is almost exactly like Hagoromo Otsutsuki in that he goes on this long journey, he gets all of these disciples to find them, he finds a village with a problem, and he solves it. If you guys remember from the last episode, he goes to this village which is supposedly a diamond in the rough. In the middle of nowhere, there's this little oasis, and a lot of that has to do with the fact that the divine tree, or at least its sap, has seeped into this underground area, which has actually made everything fertile. But it's also sucking the nutrients from all of the people in the area, causing them to have all these weird little, like, white vines coming out of their hands. And the only method to actually save this village, aside from the villagers outright just going somewhere else, because of course the planet is huge and they could do this, is that they're going to try and build a well. However, they don't have the ability to do that. That's where Ashura comes in. He builds a well for all of the people and everybody's happy. Throw a damn parade. Indra got done with his journey so quickly, he returned home. Ashura doesn't return home for like a whole nother full year, and then it just ends right there as he's about to announce the successor, and my god, did this episode just bore me to death. Look, I'm not saying that you can't get enjoyment out of these episodes. There's a lot of cool stuff here, stuff that we've technically never seen before, but we know the outcome of everything, so really it's completely unnecessary at the end of the day. Not to mention, there are just some things about this episode that rub me the wrong way. If it's not the bad artwork and the animation, it's that one scene where when they're done digging the well, they go over to Kana's mother, and both Ashura and Kana are using their Ninshu abilities to heal her, and when she's finally healed, those weird little vines that are coming out from the divine tree just disappear like freaking magic. What is this, a fucking Disney movie? So what's the rundown on this week's episode of Naruto Shippuden? I didn't like this episode, and frankly, I'm just ready for this whole backstory on Indra and Ashura to get done with. In the next episode, at least it looks like they're going to be fighting, which means we're this much closer to the conclusion and we can finally get back to the battle with Kaguya, which has just been hyped up so much, especially because there's a lot of brand new imagery in the intro, not to mention some brand new stuff going on in the ending this week, which is arguably the best thing about this week's episode. That and the fact that there's really just not a lot of mystery behind this episode. Like, we all know who the successor is going to be. It's very obvious who it's going to be, especially after they show all of that Ashura backstory. So, really, I have to be honest. I have to talk from my gut. I'm just not really enjoying this episode right here. I can't sugarcoat it. And that's really disappointing to me as a hardcore Naruto fan, because Naruto Shippuden, the Naruto series, is one of my favorite anime of all time. But the more I see more of this filler, the more I'm starting to see more of its flaws, and I'm just not enjoying it as much. I just want to get back to the main storyline. I cannot stress that enough. That being said, this is still a somewhat interesting episode of Naruto Shippuden, which Naruto fans should definitely check out at least once, especially if you're just really into the entire lore of the universe, and you want to learn a little bit more about Indra and Ashura. However, the outcomes are still going to be the same no matter what you see at the end of the day. So really, this is also kind of an episode that you could skip, and you'd still be kind of okay with missing it. But, like I said, if you're that hardcore into Naruto, check out this episode. You might see something you like. I didn't really care for this one all that much. There were some interesting elements to it, but the production value and the pacing, and just the fact that we know what's going to happen, is just really nothing all that exciting for me personally. So my score for this week's episode is a 3 out of 5. A super average episode of Naruto Shippuden. But if you're a Naruto fan, check it out. You might see something you like. If any of you did watch this week's episode of Naruto, make sure to tell me what you thought about it in the comments section below. I didn't really like this episode. Maybe you did. Tell me why. And make sure to tell me what you want to see from the rest of the Naruto Shippuden anime series. Thank you, my friends, for watching this review. I really appreciate it. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, and make sure to also check out our weekly podcast show, The Powerful Nerdcast. It's really freaking awesome. You can check out a link for that in the description box below. Make sure to comment, like, and subscribe. Thank you guys again for watching, and as always, stay dandy, baby.